there, welcome to penguinswander.com and our little video every day. So today we're going to talk about the types of art that's at Burning Man and at the regional events. And so the first type, the obvious type, is the actual effigy. The effigy is the big wooden structure that gets burnt on Saturday night or burn night. And typically it's sort of a stylized man. It has arms. During the week the arms are down like this. Half an hour before it gets lit, its arms go up like that. So if the arms are up on the man, you have like half an hour to hustle down to where you can watch it. I was out for a little while. He's kind of excited to see me again. So the man burns kind of the happy burn. Then on Sunday night, the temple is the more serious burn that they actually want you to be quiet at. And those are the two big ones. But throughout the week there are smaller ones that get burnt. They kind of schedule them now because there's so many. And if your area has its burn, then you would probably go and help with that. Usually burns need people on the fire perimeter to keep people away from getting hurt. Then there's also metal sculptures. My son's an artist. He's a metal sculptor. He doesn't like the idea of burning your art because it is an awful lot of work to make like a wooden sculpture and then you burn it, and it is kind of a lost cause. So he prefers to make metal ones. Another type that you'll see at Burning Man is kinesthetic art. So you'll see big pieces. There's a few in some of the videos that people have put out. There was one, I think it was called the Wheel of Horus, and it had a bunch of skeletons going around and around. And many of these kinesthetic means that it has movement involved with it. There's some that require people to pull on ropes, and it takes a group of people to actually get them moving, but they're kind of fun because the idea is for participation. Then there's small sculptures that can be made out of found objects. One of my very favorite pieces, I think it was called Our First Home, and it was in 2009. And what it was a little tiny room building, and it had the bare necessities of life, and it was cool. I liked it a lot. The art installations, you can apply for art grants. You just have to make sure that you do it in time, and you have to write a lot of detailed descriptions to get an art grant. There's also what they call mutant vehicles, or art cars. You're not allowed to drive in Black Rock City, not unless you are an official art car, and even the art cars aren't supposed to really be driving in the actual city. They're supposed to just be in the open playa, the big circle part, middle of the horseshoe, and farther out. And usually they have a DJ on board and a sound system, and they play music, and then there's little spontaneous dance raves around them. Like on, I think it's Friday night, when they've started putting explosives and fireworks into the man, then the man will be shot while they're doing that. And the art cars all move to where the temple is. Now, when I was a temple guardian in 2010, I had two shifts. The one shift was early in the week when it wasn't even quite finished. It was like Monday or Tuesday. And then the next one was on Friday. It was quite interesting to see how it had evolved with all the graffiti, you know, basically people leaving messages and also putting up little decorations and stuff for their loved ones at the temple. So it's quite it's quite interesting to go early in the week and then later in the week to the temple. The art cars you have to get approved, just like the art grants. You can have a art bicycle, decorate your bicycle, and you don't have to go through that process. So some people do that. The rule with the art cars is they're supposed to be accessible for anyone at Burning Man to go on them. And then, so that was art installations, is one type of art. The second type is performance art, and that's where you're actually performing, like dancing or singing, or I have a friend Brio, and he plays his violin in playa pops, which is like a little orchestra they have. There's also a one camp that plays bluegrass, and there's one group that reenacts a Rocky Horror Picture Show. There's all kinds of different entertainment things, and there's DJs and there's VJs. The VJs do the video, and there's a couple of women who have outfits with feathers on them, and they go and they dance out by the trash fence and by the temple at like sunrise. But they were kind of controversial for a few years, because for many years, up until about 3 years ago, feathers were banned items, because when they finish Burning Man, they have to clean it up and leave it completely pristine. Otherwise, the Bureau of Land Management won't let them continue to have a license to have the event there. So they just recently decided that feathers were okay, but don't bring feather boas, because you really don't want anything that breaks off into little pieces and flies away. The Dust City Diner, I saw them out at the trash fence one year at sunrise, and they have like a place, like the counter to sit, and the black and white tile floor, and the waitresses with the giant blonde beehives. And it's quite interesting to see, and they serve breakfast if you're lucky, but there's a pretty big line when they have them. The lamp lighters, they're performance art, and they wear robes. You get dressed by a fitter, and then they carry their there's a bunch of different roles that you can have as a lamp lighter. So if you're a carrier, you're carrying the poles that have a bunch of kerosene lanterns on both sides. If you're a lifter, then you have one pole and you lift the lamp onto the pole, and if you're support, then you go and you relight lanterns that are unlit, being careful not to upset the balance. So if you have like 4 lanterns here and 4 lanterns here, you don't just take off 2 off this side, because it's going to tip. So usually the carriers work in parallel with the one on the other side, so that you take off the same number of lamps each time, so that the carrier doesn't get unbalanced and the lamps don't fall. But they are a procession, and they're fairly formal, and it's pretty interesting performance art. Then there's also flow arts and fire arts. The only difference is whether you're using practice toys or LED toys or fire toys, but these include fans, staff, poi, those sorts of things. as far as the DJing goes, it's not a festival like a music festival. This is participatory, and so they don't get big names to come in. It's something that you don't come just for who's playing, you come for being a participant. But Rockstar Librarian is the one that puts out the list of where the different DJs are playing in different camps. And that's it for today. So enjoy the rest of your Thursday night.